Is that her?
Yeah.
What?
Hey, Ben.
Howdy.
And hi, Duke, even though you're not.
Look.
Yeah. When-
Hey. I would go down and put Lily on here, but then she'll hijack my phone. I'll never get it back. So
I understand. I understand.
bitch, I shouldn't do that.
Once they see it, they have to have it. Right? Right? That's why this is so difficult. Why do you make it so hard? Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Okay. Where's that thing you were playing with? Where is it? You should go get that. No, he's not here. That's somebody else. I know, babe. Oh, 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 oh. See? Yeah. That's Ben. That's Duke. That's Ashley. And that's Elena. And that's Lucas. You know that guy. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, silly girl?
Hi, buddy.
Say hi.
Good morning.
Say good morning.
Lucas is down for another morning nap. He's a sleepy today.
Oh my goodness. Does that mess up his afternoon nap? Or if he's like that tired, does he take 2 naps?
He takes 2.
That's amazing.
Like, I literally put him down. Well, I mean, it's just so weird. Like, some days he's good with 1 nap and he'll take like a 3-hour nap in the middle of the afternoon. And then recently here, I think it's the teething. He's got like 2 new teeth coming in. He's just starts getting so fussy just within 2 hours from waking up. So I'll put him down and I figure, if he's tired, he'll go to sleep. If he's not, he's going to start crying and then I'll just get him back up. So I give him the chance. And he, no joke, like when he falls asleep, he lays on his stomach and like sticks his butt up in the air. He was in position, as we call it, within 2 minutes.
Oh,
so like he
I
was
wonder
tired.
if he's well. Maybe he's like getting crappy sleep because he's making
because of the pain. And I don't know, maybe I'm a bad mommy because I don't give him Tylenol very often.
No, we don't.
Like I really only try and do it if like.
Let me show you. I don't know if this actually helps or not, but it makes me feel better because we do the same thing. Like if I give her Tylenol, it's because she has a fever.
Yeah.
It's not
just because. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that. But somebody recommended this to me. It's called Pumpkin Butt, Punkin Butt.
Okay.
It's all natural. It says natural pain relief to calm and soothe your child. And it's got just a bunch of like very like oils and like yeah.
Like a dropper?
Huh?
Is it like a dropper?
It's no, it just comes like this, and I just take a Q-tip and I shake it, put the Q-tip in it, and then I just rub it in her mouth. It's supposed to help. Yes, or it's supposed to. It says it's soothing oil, and it's all natural. So that's what we've used. I honestly, I don't know. She only has 4 teeth.
Yeah.
But it does help her at the very least. It does help her calm down if she's like spazzing out.
Okay.
Over it. It really.
I can order it online, right?
Yeah, if you just go on Amazon and search pumpkin butt.
Okay.
And then you can give him something so you don't feel bad and you're not drugging your kid.
Yeah, like I feel sometimes that, like my mom is, not the same way I am, and neither is my mother-in-law. So they'd be like, why don't you just give him Tylenol? And I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like that stuff is not like, I personally feel that it's not super good for them. Like that's just my personal like feeling on it. So unless he has a fever, I don't like to give it to him unless like I can tell like he's really struggling.
Yeah.
I think it's fine once in a while, but in excess. I didn't even take Tylenol when I was pregnant unless I was like unbearable. Like I think I maybe took it twice my entire pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because I read so many studies on like how it could like affect the baby and all that. I mean, I feel
like you don't want to use drugs unless it's like really necessary.
And I feel like nowadays people will just like, oh, I feel like slightly off. Let me pop an Advil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or they run to the patient first and they're like, give me an antibiotic. Like, you don't have an infection.
Exactly. You don't have an infection now. You're just going to mess up your doctor. But okay.
Exactly. Like, stop.
Yep.
Hopefully, I hope and then the other thing that has helped, because Kyla's not a great sleeper, Target sells these little chamomile tablets. Totally natural. It comes in like a little white bottle with a blue top. And if she's like having a hard time or teething or whatever, I give her a couple of those. and rub that stuff on her gums, and it seems to calm her down a lot. It's totally natural. That's been my go-to.
I'll have to look that up too because I haven't even thought about that at all.
I didn't know it was a thing, and my sister found them, and she's like, there's like a line of stuff at Target that's natural. They also have like a
Is it Zarbee's? Is it the Zarbee's brand?
I wonder if it let me look.
Because they have like a natural
But the Zarbee's has that cool line of like it's kind of like medicine, but it's not.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's Newbie. So my sister found the Zarbee's, they're like non-medicine stuff, which I think is awesome. And then, because if they don't have a fever, but they have symptoms, like that's really good for that. It's called Newbie Soothing, Nuby.
Okay.
And they're just chamomile, totally natural. And that helps.
Down too, because I have to go to Target later anyway. So
there you go.
Perfect.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this
episode of Crunchy Mamas. I'm so glad that I have another person that will like tell me like awesome crunchy things because like a lot of my other friends think I'm just totally crazy.
I understand.
They're like, I love you, Elena, but you're insane. And I'm like, it's okay. Thank you.
I understand.
So what's the opposite of crunchy? Is it soft mama?
Smooth mama.
What is the opposite of crunchy would be?
Hate your kids, mama? Is that what it is?
Smooth, right? Smooth peanut butter and crunchy peanut butter.
Smooth, okay.
Yeah. The smooth mama. Yeah.
I don't know what you would call.
Like
a
normal or
Creamy.
Yeah, a normal person, a person that isn't, totally obsessed about these things.
There are normal people and then there are crunchy people.
Oh my gosh. Can I ask you guys a question while we're on the call and it hasn't started yet? Or do we need to start?
Yeah, let's get started and then we'll do questions after if somebody wants to hang around. So let's get it going.
Okay, let's do it. Theo, come on. Hi, friends. Okay, I actually made a little slideshow this time, but
Yay!
Let's see. Oh, wait. Hold on. I have not done this before. Also, it's not very cute. It's black and white with no illustrations. But feel free to interrupt with questions, comments. Like I'm happy to, Theo, come here. I'm happy to answer questions during this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna present. Is that funny, Kyla? Okay, can you all see this? Wait.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, it shows the whole thing. It's not like the presenter view, but we can see it.
Hold on, let me try something else. I don't know that I'm doing this right. Let's stop. Let's try again. Okay, here it goes. This time, I'm just gonna show you my whole screen and then I'll present this way. Oh, much fancier, right? Okay, can you see that?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I did it. Okay. Yep, exactly, Kyla. So, guiding your clients through custom home building. Okay, so I'm going to shut the door because dogs are very upset. Okay, there are many different kinds of builders. There's production builders, which is like your Ryan Homes. There's custom, which is like Blue Ridge Custom Homes, and there's hybrid, so one's in between. So when you're talking about hooking your clients up with a production builder, it's a new house, but it's not they're not getting to pick out the details of what they want. It's like, here's plans A, B, and C, color options 1, 2, 3. Pick and sign. That's the whole thing. And then you have the spectrum goes all the way to truly custom, where they're really picking out every single detail of the house. There's no detail of the house that they can't choose. If they want to choose weird size grout lines in their tile, they can do that with truly custom. And then there's some builders in between, or builders that will call themselves custom that aren't truly custom. So they'll already have like plans and options in place. And if you want to make changes, you can. Kyla, please get off the dog. Thank you. You can, but they're going to charge you a lot of extra money for those changes and additions. So that's where your spectrum. Yes, that's the dog. Be gentle. Okay, so how do you know if you have a client who may need to build custom or who might be a candidate for building custom? One, they may straight up tell you. They might be like, we really want to build a custom house, or we want to build, if they say they want new construction or they want to build, and you ask, would you want to pick out the details of your house or no? If they say, yeah, okay, then this is someone who might want to build custom. If they're looking on the market, Kyla, please get off the dog. Thank you. If they're looking on the market but nothing appeals to them, they're like, all these houses are ugly, outdated, these sellers have no taste, they might need to build custom. I mean, a lot of times, people who build custom did not start their home search thinking that they want to build custom. They started their home search and realized that what they want doesn't exist. If they're super opinionated and have a strong sense of style, that tends to be a good fit. Also, if they like, yes, thank you, Kyla, that's the dog. If they like the idea of a custom home in general. So if you bring it up with them, they'd be like, oh, we would love to pick out our finishes. And if they're really into design and that kind of thing, it could be a fit. But they don't have to really be super into interior design or anything like that to be a good custom home client. They could have a specific piece of land that they want to build on. Maybe they own it already, or they have this dream of what this land would be like. Then they might want to put a custom house on that land. They probably need to. Does that make sense? Price point. So this is the other, so their opinion and what they like and don't like is very important. But the other important factor that you cannot ignore is price, because building custom is going to be the most expensive way to get a house. That's just the way that it is. So as you guys probably know, buying a pre-existing home tends to be, in general, the least costly way to own a house. And then buying a new house, it gets a little bit more expensive. The reason for this is because, of course, people would like a new home. It's all about supply versus demand. That's right. That's economics. Whoa, Kyla, careful. So if you're going with a production builder like Ryan, that's going to be your lowest price point for new construction, is builders like that. Depending on your area and your community, they've even like made communities that are for people with lower price points. So if you're trying to ball on a budget, maybe you need to see a production builder like a Ryan Homes. And then at the other end of the spectrum, a custom home, you really need to be minimum low 300s, and you're really pushing it with that. You're really pushing it. You need to be on the right piece of land with the right plan. Can't do anything fancy with custom home building. So you can start in the low 300s, but if your client comes to you and says that their price ceiling is 300, they're not a custom home client. They just aren't. It's not possible. There are certain costs involved with building custom that just can't be avoided, and you're not going to be able to do a real custom home for less than $300,000. And then you have your hybrids, which honestly they don't tend to be that cheap. Like, oh, thank you. Mwah. They like an eagle. That's right. So you have built a lot of builders out there that fit that hybrid model, where they have plans and they have finishes and stuff, but they'll also tell you your client can pick finishes and your client can customize and they can do what they want. But they are going to charge a lot for those customizations, because how they keep their prices steady is by building the same stuff again and again and already having plans and stuff in place. So you're actually, if your client wants to do a lot of customization, they're really better off going with a truly custom builder. An example of this would be, let's say you're talking to a builder and they have their plans and the stuff that your client can use, but they're like, but we can customize it. They can make changes. And your client says, well, I really want a standalone tub in my bathroom. That builder is likely to be like, great, no problem, fantastic. That'll be an extra $2,000. One of those tubs costs $800. So with a custom builder, a truly custom builder, they're going to pay the $800 for the tub and the 15% markup, so that the builder, because that's a margin that the builder is going to make. Whereas with these hybrid builders, where they give you the option to add in and make changes, you're going to pay a lot higher premium on every single change that you make. It's not evil, it's just the way that it works, and you are causing more work for them when you make changes, so they have to charge for that. So, moral of the story is, if your client is looking for a house under 300, but they want new construction, you need to stick closer to the production type models. Those are not going to be, that's not going to be some lone lot in Hanover or Goochland. That's going to be like more your cookie cutter neighborhoods. But once their price point starts getting above 300, then you start to be able to entertain the idea of a custom build. One thing to think about is just typically, and this is like a very general, loose statement that can vary all over the place, but you want to estimate somewhere between $100 to $150 a square foot for a build if you're trying to be like, is this doable? That makes sense. So if you've identified that your client can't find what they want on the market, it doesn't exist, or they want to build, they want a new house, and their price point is high enough to where they could build custom, what are your next steps? First of all, get a buyer broker agreement signed ASAP. Do this, and obviously, like we get preached to a lot about getting it signed regardless, right? And that's true. But if your client may be a new build type of client, you need to get one of these signed immediately. Doesn't matter what builder they're going to go with. The reason being is, A, if they want a new house and they happen to stop in at a production builder model, something like that on the weekend, and they don't feel like they have to tell you, you even told them to call you and you said, call me before you go in anywhere. Let me set up your appointments for you. But they're like, oh, we saw the sign for the model and we went in and we talked to the salesperson. If they don't tell that salesperson, I have an agent, this is their information. And even sometimes if they do, depending on the crappy salesperson that you might be dealing with, you can lose your commission super fast. If you do not have a buyer broker agreement and your client signed a contract with that salesperson, you're done. You're out of the deal. See you later. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter if you said, like, hey, you should go check out that model. You need to have that agreement signed. If they end up building custom and that's more what they want to do, that's awesome. And you're a lot less likely to get pushed out of your commission. But let's say your client turns out to be kind of a jerk and your client's like, I don't really see why I need this agent anymore. Like, I got introduced to the builder. I've started working with them. I don't want the agent in on the deal. The builder's going to have a really hard time fighting for you and fighting for your commission if you don't have a buyer broker agreement signed. If you do have one signed, you can send it to the builder, and the builder can say to the client, like, you have an agreement with your agent that they are representing you here and they're going to get paid on this. So you can have them involved or not have them involved, but you were their client and they were your agent and they brought you here. But if you don't have a buyer broker, that's right, Kyla. If you don't have a buyer broker agreement signed and your client says, I don't think I really need my agent anymore, you're done. The builder cannot force them to have an agent if they don't even have an agreement saying that they're working with you. So obviously it's crucial to have these, and obviously we get them signed before we put an offer on any house, but especially if your client's even possibly going to be going to a builder, you need to have one of these signed. So that's step one. Step two, make the introduction to the builder be as involved as possible. So Blue Ridge Custom Homes is owned by Nathan Wiley, my father. So obviously they are the number one choice for custom home building. But also Blue Ridge Custom Homes is the largest scattered site, truly custom home builder in the Richmond area. They have a really good system, really good way of, yeah, Kyla, they're very legitimate. And they're very agent friendly. My dad wants to work with agents. He loves working with agents. So all you do is set up an introduction between your client and Nathan Wiley, or you guys can reach out to me if you need my help with that, because I'm happy to send in. That's right, Kyla. I'm happy to send an introduction between you and my dad. That's no problem. Then you want to be a part of that meeting. So they're going to set up. That's right, Kyla. Yeah, that's good. That's good tea. They're going to set up an initial meeting. You want to be in on that. If it's in person, which before COVID, they were all in person, you really want to be there. You want to have a presence in that meeting. And then it will inspire you to ask questions and stuff. You want to be as involved as possible. And it will start with, yes, Kyla, do you have things you need to share? Thank you. So if they already own their land, great, but most people don't. You will want to be involved with the land search. Now, Blue Ridge is great at helping with that, so you don't have to stress over like, oh, I don't know a ton about land. Like, that's okay. Kyla, please drink. Hey, put the tea down, please. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Hold on. Toddler just dropped tea on the floor. Okay. Let's clean this up. But you want to be involved in the land search. You can possibly represent Blue Ridge in buying a lot for your client and represent the client as a buyer of a new house with Blue Ridge. So you want to be as involved as possible, because you don't want to really just make the introduction to a builder and then disappear from the face of the earth and they're like, why do I even have an agent? You want to ask your client if they'll want their own inspections, so you can schedule getting their own. Kyla, that's enough. You can schedule them getting their own inspector for different phases of the process and go over those options with them. You're also going to want to ask the builder to be put on any and all communication, and you want to be involved with any walkthroughs or meetings that are happening with your client. Sorry, I'm like huffing and puffing, but I'm super pregnant, and even just like getting up and bending over is a workout. And don't assume that even if you ask to be put on communication, that you were. Okay, if it's been a while and you haven't heard anything, reach out to the builder, reach out to your client. It's possible that someone forgot to CC you, or I've been in a situation before with a production builder where they really did not want me. Oops, Sorry, friends. They really didn't. The salesperson was not trying to help me make any money. So that is important. You want to keep reaching out, even if you haven't heard anything. You want to be involved, because at the end of the day, you want your client to be happy you were involved with the process. You don't want your client saying, "Why were you even here?" Your role is not more. Okay, we're not going to have any more, but thank you for asking. Kyla, thank you for asking. There's no more. There's no more tea. Yeah, no more tea. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this. How do I make this presentation stop? That was my last slide, but I do have a couple more things to share. Your role as an agent in a custom home build situation is not the person who is picking out finishes and all this kind of stuff. Like, they're picking out their finishes. Blue Ridge Custom Homes actually has somebody who is a full-time staff of Blue Ridge Custom Homes whose job is to help coordinate selections, that kind of stuff. But you could definitely be there as a resource for your client and to be able to point out if they're doing some sort of finish or something with their house where you're like, just so you know, that's going to hurt your resale. Or you can be there as a resource to be like, if it were me, I would say you need at least 3 true bedrooms if you're going to sell this house one day. And they may even be like, I'm not going to sell this house. This is my forever home. You're almost never in your forever home. Even if you think you are, statistically, it's highly unlikely. But you don't need to say that to them. What you could say is, that's awesome when you're 1,000,000 years old and you die and your kids have to deal with selling this house. Just something to think about. Like, if you're building a 3,000 square foot house, you really need at least 3 bedrooms here, probably more. So that's kind of your role there. What questions do people have?
Oh, Elena, did you have something that was a question related to it? I think, one thing I've learned is, so it's important to know that the builder and the customer relationship is different than the agent and client relationship. So when, a builder builds a house for someone, they're not representing them and their interests, just like a seller is not representing the buyer. So the builder, it's their customer. So they have, certain duties to treat them fairly and take care of them and stuff like that. But they don't have the same fiduciary duties that an agent has with their client, that they're looking out for their interest, their monetary, interest, all that stuff. And that's, I think, important to explain to somebody when they're like, well, why do I need you in this, why do I need you in this deal? Like, why are they, why am I maybe paying more for this? Or, why do you have to be involved? We had this conversation with one of our agents yesterday where, somebody called a custom builder and they said, cool, I've got it from here. Thanks so much. I've connected with a custom builder. And so, the client and agent relationship, to the builder, they're a customer. To us, they're a client. So that's just a different relationship. And so you need to be able to understand that and articulate that. I think it's important so they can understand. So one thing I always tell people, for instance, is to get an inspection, get outside inspections. Now, a custom builder, any builder would be like, kind of like, you don't need to do that. It's fine. We have our people and they trust their people, whatever. I mean, that's fine. But an independent, separate inspection can find things that they didn't find. And that's one of the advices you can give to a client and regarding something like that. And there's actually different phases of inspections. You can get a grading and clearing inspection. You can get a framing inspection. You can get a mechanical inspection. And you can bring in somebody like Mike, an independent person, to come in and kind of analyze things that have been done and say, well, this is technically would pass, but probably not the best way to do this or whatever. So you can look out for their interests, make sure that they're paying, and Nathan Wiley is not like looking to rip people off. I mean, that's not the business, but at the same time, he's not necessarily like thinking every day, how can I save this person a little bit more money? Where an agent, that is kind of your duty. Like maybe you advise them on doing something a different way to save them money. And then Nathan says, okay, cool, that's fine. Do it that way. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's just what I've learned. And you got to be able to articulate that to a client to explain your value, because they're going to be like, why am I paying you? Whether they're building a new house or, a custom house or a production house, it's the same concept. They should have somebody advocating for them. The site agent is advocating for Ryan Homes or Eagle or whoever it is. They're not advocating for the client. So
that brings up a good point too, that like you want to have a relationship with the project manager that's on that project, on the house, because really Nathan Wiley, like after the initial part, he's not at the project. He's not working directly with your client. So that actually brings up another good point, that you want to like make sure that you're connected with the actual project manager, because that's the person that is involved with the project day to day.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point.
I will say, like with my experience with Ryan Homes and all custom or all production builders, some are more lenient than others. I have two things. So, and Kat and I just talked about this with Betsy the other day, but like production builders are probably going to pay you less. So 2.5. But DR Horton reached out to me so basically Ryan Homes was like a cult. So, I mean, in a good way, they like lock you in forever. So when you leave, you like people go when you go. But I have a lot of people who left Ryan and went to a different builder, but like DR Horton will pay you like 4.2 or something like that, like crazy, because they're trying to get people. So just make sure you're comfortable with the commission, but I wouldn't steer people away because of the commission, because you're going to do less work, hopefully, because they're going to schedule those inspections and stuff that Kat and Daniel were talking about with custom. They are scheduling those just like Nathan would be. But if they want outside inspections, they can still do them. So you can guide them with that. But with Ryan, even with a buyer brokerage agreement, now this could go like into, like lawyer terms, but if you are not the procuring reason for those clients going and purchasing a home there, Ryan Homes will not pay you. So you have to be able to prove it. So that just backs like Kat's thing up. If you don't have a like proof, then you could get booted out of the deal. Like a guy got fired from Ryan Homes who had been there like 10 years because he tried to pull an agent in. Say, for example, like Kat was like, oh yeah, those were my clients. It's been a week since they signed. And the rep with Ryan Homes was like, yeah, here it is. We need to add her. And Ryan Homes was like, no, you wrote a contract. They said they had no agent. You can't bring her on. That's like totally not okay. And he did it anyways. And the agent got paid and he got fired for doing it. So I don't know if that helps or doesn't help, but make sure that, you are deemed as the procuring reason.
Yeah,
it sucks because I will say Ryan Homes doesn't like do pricing discounts based on whether you have an agent or not. Some companies do. I'm echoing back to myself for some reason. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. It's like really bad, so I'm gonna stop talking.
It wasn't echoing to us.
It's like, are you sure? Because it's like echoing really bad. Like it's louder than my actual voice.
It's echoing to me. I don't know why.
Oh,
Yes, it sounds so funky.
It's what?
It sounds weird. Like,
Is it better now?
yeah.
Okay. I'll finish my little thought. So some companies like not Ryan Homes, production builders will give clients discounts, like more discounts than they would if they don't have an agent. That is like super duper wrong. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know like the law side of it. Gosh, it's echoing so bad. I'm sorry. I want to get this point across, but it's like really bad.
Yeah, it's all fuzzy. Like you sound like a robot.
Sounds fine to me on my end.
Daniel, try muting your mic and then Ashley talk. I think it might be coming through Daniel's speakers back in or something. Because every time Ashley was talking, I could hear it. Ashley, try again.
Okay, I'm trying again. Oh,
That's so much better. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
It was
Daniel,
Weird.
Daniel, it was you.
I blame
Sorry.
Daniel.
all your fault.
Daniel ruined it. No. Okay, so I'll finish super quick. Okay, so Ryan Homes will not discount more because a client doesn't have an agent. Like they're going to give you the same discount, the same deal, no matter what. It literally happened to me last month. But other companies will. They'll say, "Oh, do you have an agent?" Right when they walk in the door, the sales reps are trying to do this, and they'll say, "Like, do you have an agent?" And the client will say yes or no, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you don't put your agent on this, I can give you an extra bathroom, or I can give you upgraded tile, or I can give you this for free because we're not having to pay the agent." Super shady. I just know that it happens when I was there, which was 2 years ago. So just beware of that. I mean, just make sure you're involved with everything in your clients. If your clients trust you and feel good with you, then
I literally there was a production builder who my client went to look at their model, did not tell me. And although I had talked to her about it, she didn't tell me that she was going. She told the sales rep that she had an agent and told him who I was and left, called me and was like, "I told him about you. I don't know if I made a mistake or something." And I contacted him and he had not put me on the contract. And I had to fight really, really hard for that commission. And I had a broker buyer agreement signed, but if I had not, 100%, they would not have paid me, even though she told them before she left that I was her agent, because I wasn't there to fight for myself. And she didn't know what else to say. If I had not had that agreement signed, I would not have been paid.
yeah, that's literally the example I was talking about. Like that company and that specific person, but that company is the one that does it. And it's
Yeah.
real shady.
They suck. And they're probably not the only one.
Yeah, I'm sure other ones. And like, but if you see that their commissions are discounted, it's not always the end of the world because it's not like a negotiation thing. You can try, but with Ryan Homes, they're like, no, we're going to do every step of the way. And if you have a good sales rep, they will. Like our sales rep literally emails us every week giving us updates. So you don't have to do anything, but
Yeah. So you
That's-
are gonna get paid less on new construction, typically like 2.5%. If it's Ryan Homes, it's 2%. But Ashley's right. There's less like you're not gonna have like, oh my gosh, there's mold in the crawl space. What are we gonna do? None of that drama is gonna happen with new construction.
what about with your dad? What does he pay? Do you know?
2.5%.
Okay.
So you can get if you represent on the buying of the land, maybe you make 3% on the land and then you make 2.5% on the final project itself. So lots of good opportunity for money making. Is right. What other questions? Comments?
I have a non-new build question that I need y'all's expertise for that I will hold until everybody is done with any questions about new builds. It was a lot of really good information. Thank you, Katarina.
Thanks for being here. I feel like you can ask your question.
Okay, I didn't want to be rude. So, Katarina, you know that I had a situation yesterday where I was trying to put an offer in on that foreclosure. So they had us use the regular CVR MLS offer. I got an email this morning that they countered And what it says, and it's from the agent that I guess is doing it. And he said the seller has countered this one, and then the new price, which is just a little bit over what my people offered. It said, which is the HUD minimum. These properties are HUD insured, so they have a strict HUD requirement. And then it says they also countered with 7 days for inspections after ratification, along with a close of escrow of 5/27. So they're knocking down the inspection day from 14 to 7 days, which should be fine. I'll contact Mike and Martha before and just see if they have any openings.
They should have them.
And then the
And if they don't, House of Rock has a lot of availability.
and then I guess an earlier closing, which should be fine since they're paying cash. I mean, my guy doesn't really seem to care that much when we did it. I was just trying to give him a little extra time just in case.
How quickly do they want to close?
5/27.
Okay. What you got to read? What are the consequences of not closing? A lot of times, some foreclosures will charge you like $100 a day for every day you go past for not closing. So,
Well, it's
that's
basically
really fast
exactly
to get
2
title
weeks
work
from
done.
today.
Yeah, that is literally 2 weeks from now. I mean,
Yeah.
if he's cash, that should be doable.
I mean, he
It's
said
possible, but title work
he
is-
literally just wrote a check.
Oh,
Yeah, but-
that's a good point. What you want to do, Daniel has a good point. The title work sometimes you want to reach out to your title company or your attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he wants to do it now and be like, listen, our closing date is the 27th. Here is the contract. I need you to pull title right now. And they can get it done within 2 weeks, but they need to be able to tell you right now. Okay.
So should I call them first before I call my buyer with this counter and make sure that it could be done within 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it can be done. Like Kat said, you just need to tell them day one. What happens a lot of times is the attorney or title company will sit on the contract for a week and then order the title. And then, it's delayed closing by a few days. So, but read that contract, because make sure that it gives you that freedom to go beyond the closing date.
Well, my only problem with that is that when I talked to the agent yesterday, because it says per the the contract, like foreclosure thing, we have to use the seller's title company. But he said he doesn't know who it is. So how am I supposed to contact them if he doesn't know who it is to ask them to pull it quickly?
Well, just make sure you read in the contract that it is subject to a clear title, and that and see what the penalty is for a closing that goes beyond the closing date.
This one's kind of it's a little different because they have her using our CVR MLS purchase.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing in there.
Automatic wording that says there's penalties.
Okay, well then you're good. I mean, you check the box that says on or before or
That's what I
reasonable time
did.
thereafter.
Yeah.
Yeah, provided. Yeah, so you're good.
As long
It's
as
weird
they're
though. Every foreclosure I've dealt with, they always kick back an addendum, like a bank addendum.
That's what I was going
But
to ask. I said there's nothing else. That's all it says is seller has countered this one at 156,750, which is the HUD minimum. These properties are HUD insured. They also countered with 7 days for inspections after ratification, along with the close of escrow on 5/27. Can your buyer meet these terms?
What's the address of the house?
It is 7615 Offshore Drive in Chesterfield.
Offshore.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is it a HUD house?
It just said foreclosure. It didn't say anything.
No, it's not, because you didn't have to go. Did you have to go on that HUD website to submit
No,
your
I didn't realize that.
So it's just like a REO.
How do you spell offshore? I don't see it.
OFFSHORE.
It's not popping up. One word or two words?
One word.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
So also, like, since I use the regular MLS form, it also states that the seller is going to do the termite, and they didn't counter that. So does that mean the seller is going to do the termite?
Yeah, if you're using that contract.
Yeah. I just want to make sure before
Did
I
they say it's as is? I mean, is that
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. That's why I'm so confused on this one. It just seems so strange. And like from everything that I've talked to with like Rachel and Ashley and Katerina, like it seems like this one's a little bit different than like other foreclosures. So I just want to make sure I'm not.
It is. It is. I mean, typically they have their own addendum that they say it's as is. It doesn't even say who the owner is. It says owner of record. It doesn't say who the bank is. Do you know who the bank is?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, just use the contract as if it's a conventional sale, you know?
But so do you think it's okay to agree to that date if I don't have a closing company to call today and say we need it? Or should I tell that other agent, like, I need to know who the closing company is?
Yeah,
He
I mean,
said
you'll be
he
fine.
said they don't
because
tell him.
As long as you can check, as long as you have that box checked that it's a reasonable time thereafter, you're good.
I do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then
If they kick back a bank addendum, though, feel free to send it over to me we can look it over and see what it says.
do you think they would do that after we accept the counter? Or wouldn't they have already done that?
Yeah, they could. Yes, they've done that after. Yes.
Okay.
How do you accept? Are you giving them a verbal, or did they sign what you sent and send it back?
So I have to go back into ResNet, it looks like. So I have to tell the agent, this guy Kevin, let him know verbally, and then I have to go back into ResNet to respond.
Yeah. So they have to sign it. So a lot of the banks, they'll do online portals until all the terms are agreed to, the basic terms, the price, closing date, all that stuff, and then they kick back addendum. Maybe. I mean, you can ask Kevin Randisi. He'll tell you, is there any bank addendum that I should expect on this or whatever? But that's done afterwards sometimes.
Okay. I'll probably need some help on this one because it just seems so strange. I just feel like I don't really know what I'm.
Yep. Just let me know.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Elena.
Thank you.
Yeah. Trying to get number 4 going.
Trying. Working my little tail off.
That's awesome.
My husband's officially gotten mad that I'm always on the phone. It's already happened. It's happened sooner than I thought.
Welcome to the industry.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you want me to do, not answer. And he was like, sometimes.
Oh gosh. It's already started.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I think it's just because we're all home. We're in this quarantine situation around it 24/7. Once he's back at work, he won't even notice half the time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
All right.
I'm gonna go call this
Thank
guy.
you, Miss Katerina.
Thanks, Kat.
Thank you,
That was
guys.
good. Appreciate that.
I'm here to help anytime anyone has questions about building or their clients, or like if their client's a good fit or anything. I'm happy to have those combos.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, good virtually
Right.
chatting with you guys. Good to see you on here, Abby. What's going on, Hervey? Hey, Ben.